Hey there, deep divers. Ever stop and think about what's humming away behind the scenes, making, massive data centers and cloud services run so incredibly fast? We're talking about the real guts of our digital world, the kind of unsung heroes making sure your movie streams or your bank transfer just happens. Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of those absolutely critical but maybe kind of invisible technologies, fiber channel switches, FCS for short. And to help us navigate this, we've dug into a detailed market report from Cognitive Market Research. It's fresh, updated June 2025, and it really lays out the trends, the future for this, well, foundational tech. So our mission today, let's cut through the tech speak, find the really interesting nuggets, and help you understand why these switches are such a big deal for managing data today and what's coming next for them. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little. For those of us maybe not living and breathing data center architecture, what is a fiber channel switch exactly? And, why should we care about something that sounds, frankly, pretty technical?
Right. Well, it's interesting because the name sounds complex, but their job, it's actually quite elegant and absolutely vital. Think of them as like the elite air traffic controllers just for your most critical data. They're specifically designed for storage area networks, SANs. So unlike your regular network traffic kind of sharing the road, FCS create these dedicated, super high speed and incredibly reliable pathways. It's all about seamless, prioritized communication between servers and storage. They're built for rapid, real-time data access. That's totally non-negotiable when you've got heavy data demands.
So not just speed, but predictable speed.
Exactly. Predictable speed, absolute reliability. That's the core of it.
Okay, so if there are these dedicated express lanes,
Yeah.
what's the real-world impact? I mean, where are these things absolutely crucial right now?
Oh, their impact is huge in industries where data integrity and speed are just paramount. So we're talking telecommunications, healthcare, banking, and of course, they're the foundation for pretty much all cloud services.
The big ones.
Yeah, exactly. These sectors rely on FCS for that low latency and high throughput. What that means practically is they can handle massive amounts of storage, process complex financial transactions instantly, manage huge data traffic flows really efficiently. Honestly, without them, the digital backbone we all rely on, patient records, your mobile banking, it would just grind to a halt. That always-on world, it directly depends on these hidden workhorses.
Okay, clearly essential. But is this a sort of niche, specialized market? Or are we seeing, like, widespread growth here?
Definitely not niche. No, this is a market that's really on an impressive upward path. The global SCS market was valued around, let's see, USD 9.2 billion in 2024.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's projected to soar to roughly USD 26.6 billion by 2032. That's a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of about 14.2%.
It's pretty substantial.
It really is. And what's kind of surprising is for a tech some might see as, mature, it's proving indispensable for those mission critical, low latency jobs. It's cementing its place even though it costs more. This growth, it's mainly fueled by, well, the relentless rise of cloud computing, the huge expansion of data centers globally, and just the growing need for high-performance, high-capacity networks as everyone pushes digital transformation and scales up their data operations.
It's that the demand just keeps climbing.
Exactly. It has to go somewhere reliable.
So with that kind of projection, who are the main players, the giants making this happen? And where is this growth actually happening fastest around the world?
Well, it's competitive for sure, but a few big names really dominate. You've got Cisco Systems. They had about 17% market share in 2024.
Like,
Then Brocade Communication Systems, they're part of Broadcom. Now they had around 12%. And Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, HPE, had about 10%. And what's interesting there is once the company invests in one vendor's whole ecosystem, swapping out core SAM parts like switches gets really expensive.
Yeah.
So there's a strong vendor lock-in, which helps them keep their lead.
the lock-in effect.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And these companies are constantly pouring money into R&D, doing mergers, acquisitions, partnerships, all to stay ahead. Geographically, North America is the biggest market right now, about 38% in 2024. That's mostly down to its advanced tech infrastructure, tons of data centers.
Right.
Europe's next, with a big chunk too, around 30%. But the place to watch, that's Asia Pacific. It's set for the fastest growth, expected around 12% annually, driven by places like China, Japan, India, huge industrial and tech advancements happening there.
Interesting. Now, there are always alternatives popping up, aren't there?
Yeah.
How do fiber channel switches hold their ground so strongly against, say, Ethernet or maybe InfiniBand, especially with Ethernet being everywhere now?
That's a really good question, and it kind of highlights the unique strengths of FCS that keep them relevant. So while Ethernet switches are great for general networking, they dominate that, absolutely, and InfiniBand is fantastic for super low latency and specific computing clusters. FCS remain the gold standard for high-performance storage networking.
Okay, the storage focus is key.
Exactly. It's because they handle massive data volumes at very high speeds with minimal latency. It's down to the protocol, it's dedicated, it's lossless, data packets aren't fighting with general web traffic or getting dropped. And that's critical for things like, real-time financial trades or big data analytics. In 2024, FCS held about 45% of the total storage network switch market. Ethernet switches had 40% and InfiniBand around 15%.
So still leading the pack for storage.
Right. And what's really telling is the forecast suggests the FCS share might actually nudge up slightly to 47% by 2025. So it underscores their continued, you could almost say irreplaceable dominance where you need that super reliable high-speed data transfer.
Okay, performance kings, got it. But there are always challenges, right? Every tech faces hurdles. So what's holding back maybe even faster growth for FCS? What are the speed bumps?
Yeah, absolutely. And the primary one, honestly, it's the cost. Implementing and maintaining fiber channel infrastructure is, well, it's expensive.
Right.
The performance is top-notch, no doubt, but the deployment costs can be pretty prohibitive, especially if you're a small or medium-sized business, an SME. And it's not just buying the hardware, it's the operational costs, too. These things use a fair bit of power, need significant cooling. That all adds up.
So the total cost of ownership.
Exactly. The TCO for, say, a medium-sized fiber channel SAN can be maybe up to 30% higher than alternatives like ISCSI networks, which basically run storage traffic over standard, cheaper Ethernet. And then, yeah, we are seeing more competition from those other technologies, especially those more cost-effective Ethernet-based storage options. Plus, there's the rise of software-defined storage, SDS, which lets you manage storage with software, potentially reducing the need for expensive dedicated hardware.
Okay, cost is a big one. What about technical complexities or even environmental worries? Are those slowing things down too?
Yes, definitely. On the technical side, one hurdle can be interoperability. Getting different fiber channel systems from different vendors to talk to each other isn't always straightforward. It's not always just plug and play.
Ah, okay, so integration headaches.
Yeah, it can lead to extra costs, delays for IT teams building or expanding their SANs. And you're right about environmental concerns. That's become a bigger factor. The energy consumption of FCS has drawn some criticism, particularly with the big push for green IT and stricter energy regulations in some places. So companies are under pressure to look at energy-efficient designs, comply with green data center initiatives. That adds another layer of complexity.
Right, okay. So despite those challenges, cost, complexity, environments, it still sounds like there's a lot of innovation pushing things forward. What exciting developments are actually on the horizon for FCS?
Oh, absolutely. The innovation is continuous, which is fascinating for a tech that's been around a while. We're seeing really significant advancements. First off, there's Gen 7 fiber channel.
N7.
Yeah, offering really impressive 64 Gbps data rates, so basically doubling the speed of the previous gen. And crucially, they've designed it to be backward compatible with existing gear.
Oh, that's smart. Makes upgrades easier.
Exactly. Less disruption. Broadcom, for example, they brought out a 64G fiber channel director back in August 2023, specifically aimed at boosting performance and scalability for the really demanding data center storage setups. And then something really promising is integrating AI and machine learning right into the switches.
AI and the switch, how does that work?
Well, these intelligent systems can do things like predictive analytics, automated troubleshooting. They can spot potential issues before they cause downtime, which significantly cuts operational costs and headaches. Cisco, for instance, has an AI-driven management platform for their MDS series switches. Reports show it's improving network efficiency by around 20% through things like automated workload balancing and spotting anomalies.
Wow, that's actually incredible, using AI to make the plumbing smarter. Now, what about those environmental concerns we talked about? Are manufacturers making, greener switches?
Yes, that's a major focus now, driven by that whole shift towards greener data centers. Companies are investing heavily in energy-efficient designs. Think low power modes, better cooling, more efficient components. These are becoming standard.
So practical changes.
Definitely. Dell's Connectric switches, for example, they have energy optimization settings now that can cut power use by up to 15%. And that helps address not just the green angle, but also those high operational costs we mentioned. It's a win-win.
Makes sense. Good for the planet, good for the budget.
Right. And just looking a bit broader, too, we're seeing more collaboration between the switch vendors and cloud providers. They're developing tailored solutions for hybrid and multi-cloud setups, making sure data flows smoothly everywhere. Plus, the rise of edge computing processing data closer to where it's generated, like in smart factories or with IoT devices, that's driving demand for smaller but still high-performance FCS to handle those distributed workloads.
Okay, so bringing it all together then, from this deep dive, it seems pretty clear fiber channel switches aren't just like holding on. They're actually in a transformative phase, really driven by this relentless data growth across so many critical areas.
Precisely. I think to keep this momentum going, manufacturers really need to focus on innovation, not just raw speed like Gen 7, but also smarts like the AI analytics. They need to offer better speed, scalability, and reliability. And integrating those energy-efficient solutions, sticking to sustainable practices, that's crucial, not just for the environment, but to give businesses more cost-effective, future-proof options. And finally, tackling those high initial costs and maybe boosting awareness in some regions, that'll be key to unlocking more market potential.
So when you think about how much of our digital lives really hinge on this seamless high-speed data transfer, I mean, everything from streaming 4K movies to just interacting with AI every day, maybe consider this. How might these hidden fiber channel switches keep quietly shaping the tech innovations you'll use next without you even noticing? Hopefully this dive gives you a new appreciation for that unseen complex infrastructure holding up our digital world.